Section 1. The new scarce resource, compute is power. A landmark deal has been signed. Anthropic, a leading artificial intelligence research company, entered a multi-year, multi-billion-dollar partnership with Google. This arrangement is not merely about funding a promising startup. It is about something far more fundamental to the future of technology: access to computational power. The agreement gives Anthropic extensive access to Google's advanced cloud infrastructure and its custom-designed tensor processing units, or TPUs. This is a defining moment in the AI arms race. It underscores a new reality, where the most critical scarce resource is no longer just data or talent. The scarce resource is compute. And in any industry, scarcity equals power. Section 2. The engine of AI. What is compute? To grasp the importance of the Anthropic-Google deal, one must first understand what compute means in AI. Compute is the raw processing power delivered by specialized chips, not the general-purpose CPUs in laptops. Highly parallel processors, NVIDIA GPUs, Google's TPUs. These chips are the engines of machine learning. They perform trillions of calculations to find patterns in vast datasets, a process called training a model. That process obligates bevoorbeestaan, staffer in de endom onges inference, also needs compute, though usually less than training. Every time you ask a chatbot a question, you use compute. The scale is staggering. Section 3. The compute crunch. Why scarcity defines the moment. The current AI landscape is defined by a severe and growing scarcity of high-end compute. This shortage is not accidental. It is the result of several converging factors creating a perfect storm of demand overwhelming supply. First, the exponential growth in the size and complexity of AI models. Frontier models like OpenAI's GPT-4 and Anthropic's Claude family require astronomical computation to train. Each new generation is an order of magnitude larger, demanding more chips running for longer. Second, supply of the most advanced AI chips is constrained. NVIDIA dominates training GPUs, but fabrication is difficult, time-consuming, and globally fragile. Only a handful of foundries like TSMC can make the most advanced silicon, a bottleneck. Third, building and powering these chips at scale is monumental, with long lead times, specialized networking, and billion-dollar facilities. The result: high-performance compute has become a precious commodity in a seller's market. Section 4. Anthropic's gambit, securing the fuel for frontier models. For a company like Anthropic, the compute crunch presents an existential threat. Developing next-gen AI is not a software problem alone, it is an industrial-scale engineering challenge. Anthropic requires guaranteed access to tens of thousands of advanced processors working in concert for weeks or months. Without a reliable and massive supply of compute, its R&D would grind to a halt. Its ability to keep pace with well-funded rivals, like OpenAI, would be severely compromised, making it difficult to attract talent and customers. The deal with Google is Anthropic's strategic answer, a privileged position, likely with long-term capacity reservations, de-risking its roadmap. This is not just about keeping the lights on, it is about access to a supercomputer of planetary scale. For Google, the partnership with Anthropic represents a major strategic victory on multiple fronts in the escalating AI platform wars. First and foremost, it secures a flagship customer for Google Cloud Platform. Anthropic will consume billions of dollars in compute services over several years, providing a massive and stable revenue stream. It validates Google's infrastructure, particularly TPUs, signaling GCP is top tier for demanding AI workloads. Crucial as Google competes with Microsoft Azure and Amazon Web Services. Beyond revenue, Anthropic pushes GCP to the limits, giving Google's engineers a priceless feedback loop. They can identify bottlenecks, optimize TPU architecture, and refine software to better serve the next wave of AI customers. Anthropic becomes a strategic partner in innovation, strengthening the entire GCP ecosystem. Allocating cutting-edge TPU capacity to Anthropic takes resources off the market, tightening supply for rivals. It positions Google as a kingmaker, enhances brand and influence, and ensures Google captures a significant share of value. The Anthropic-Google deal does not happen in a vacuum. It sends powerful shockwaves across the competitive landscape, directly impacting Microsoft and OpenAI's strategic position. Their alliance has been the frontrunner, with Microsoft's massive investment and Azure powering models like GPT-4. The partnership creates a formidable new axis, challenging that dominance and raising pressure to secure resources. Every large block of compute Google gives Anthropic is capacity others lose. Microsoft and OpenAI must race to acquire NVIDIA's latest GPUs and expand Azure AI data centers. Expect bidding wars for talent, components, and electricity in key regions. Microsoft may double down on proprietary chips like Maya to reduce NVIDIA dependency. Azure reliability and performance will be judged against Google's platform. With Anthropic supercharged by Google, iteration accelerates, pressuring OpenAI to maintain its lead. Faced with the formidable Google-Anthropic alliance, Microsoft, OpenAI, other players in the AI space are not without options. Their responses will likely be aggressive, multifaceted, focused on securing compute pipelines. One direct countermove is deepening partnerships and forging new ones. Microsoft will likely escalate spending with NVIDIA, placing massive long-term orders. It may acquire chip designers or partner with additional foundries. Another response: accelerate proprietary hardware. Microsoft, Maya. Amazon, Trainium and Inferentia. Custom chips optimized for data centers and partner workloads, building a technological moat. Beyond hardware, a superior software stack becomes a differentiator. If Azure proves cheaper or faster, it can retain and attract top labs. Expect multi-cloud, purchasing consortiums, and strength in numbers to counter massive bilateral deals. The shockwaves from the Anthropic-Google deal will propagate for years, pushing the AI industry toward one of several potential futures. First, accelerating consolidation. Capital-intensive wars only giants can wage. Exclusive partnerships with Amazon and Microsoft coalesce the industry around tightly integrated ecosystems. Smaller, independent players get squeezed. Second, renewed competition. Supply rises, prices fall, alternative architectures gain traction. AI models become more efficient, reducing training power. Barriers fall and a vibrant, decentralized market emerges. Third, regulation. Exclusive deals scrutinized, public compute funded, fair access rules considered. Elements of all three could unfold at once. Who controls compute becomes a strategic and policy imperative. The Anthropic-Google deal is more than just a headline-grabbing transaction. It is a clear thesis statement about the future of artificial intelligence. It asserts that in the current era, computational power is the ultimate kingmaker. Innovation at the frontier is no longer limited by ideas or data, but by access to vast, industrial-scale infrastructure to turn those ideas into reality. The partnership crystallizes the scarcity equals power dynamic, showing how control over chips and data centers translates into influence over the application layer of AI. In the immediate term, Google is a clear beneficiary. Anthropic is a clear beneficiary. Google solidifies its AI cloud position, secures revenue, and an innovation partner. Anthropic obtains the essential fuel it needs to compete head-to-head, de-risking its ambitious roadmap and pressuring the rest of the industry. The AI revolution increasingly relies on a foundation controlled by a tiny handful of giants. We must ask who controls this resource, who benefits, and how to harness AI for